It is, what, 7:03, and I call the meeting of the Abington Cable Advisory Committee to order. The agenda reads as follows. We are going to review the draft Verizon contract, review and approve minutes of the September 7th, 2022 meeting, have any citizen complaints or comments on cable service by either carrier, and any general business and items not reasonably anticipated 48 hours in advance. I spoke with the Verizon representative. He sounded positive about accepting all the terms that we had requested. And he pointed to the one difference in payment for the, what do they call it, the capital?
It was a capital grant.
Yeah.
Annual percentage of gross annual revenues.
Yes. And he had indicated instead of paying it on a yearly basis, he would break it down into 3 payments. 145 days after the contract's been written, a third after the first year, and a third after the third year of the contract.
Yeah, that's standard, I think.
Yeah, and I indicated, I had mentioned the franchise, the $8,600 per year as we had gotten from Comcast, and along with the 15% premium. And he seemed agreeable. He could not commit to it because he had not spoken to his superiors about it. But I just wanted to have this meeting to confirm that see if anybody had any questions about the contract, and if we want to just go forward with it as it's been proposed.
Did you discuss the percentage of gross annual revenues with him? The 5% or the 4.6%?
4.3, yes, and he seemed okay with that.
And you're going to stay at 4.3?
Yes.
Okay. And the 8,600, and he did say that they would give you a 15% premium?
He mentioned, well, I didn't ask him in that specific way, and I will when I speak to him again, but when he made mention of a specific dollar amount, it seemed to include the 15%.
Was this John Harrington?
No, this is
Niall.
Neil, yeah.
Okay. All right. That's standard, so you're entitled to get the 15%.
Okay.
If you want it. And the idea there is that Verizon's got different terms, unusual terms, than Comcast. For example, it's only going to be a 5-year license. And the other thing is that Verizon will want the right of unilateral termination. That is, they want the right to be able to get out of the contract after 3 years and just leave and stop selling cable subscriptions in town. In exchange for that, they're willing to give us the capital we request plus 15%. That's the purpose and the point of that.
Okay. Your review of the contract, everything else?
It was pretty standard, Pete.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But you're the attorney for it. So.
It's a standard boilerplate agreement, and basically what we negotiate is the money.
Mm-hmm.
And if you would like to have an HD channel, you can get an HD channel in 270 days. That is, one of the PEG channels you have will be substituted for an HD channel.
Yeah, he mentioned that, yes.
You can elect which one you want, whether it's P, E, or G. Most communities take the G, because public meetings sometimes have pie charts and stuff like that. But you can put it on, you can assign it however you wish.
In the draft, it actually said a 4th channel in HD.
So if that's what it says, then you'll get 3 PEG channels and 3 SD channels and an HD channel.
It said specifically 4th.
Okay. But my reading, like you said, is it was the standard contract that
They do a very boilerplate license. Most of what's in there is really not very negotiable, except for the dates
Mhm.
and the money and the names of the people. It's all done out of New York, and there's somebody in New York that does all these licenses. And one looks just like the next, except for the dates and the money.
So they won't be taking any fees out of our franchise fees either. Comcast started out saying they would deduct whatever fees they had in mind from the 4.3%, and they eliminated that because we asked them to. So this will not have those deductions either.
I'm not sure I follow you. They will pass through the costs to the subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
So the $8,600 dollars per year, let me just do some quick math.
But I mean, yeah,
That will be passed through.
as far as the 4.3% though, Comcast started out saying they had some fees in mind, but they didn't name that they were going to deduct from the 4.3%. So Verizon won't be doing that.
Comcast
Not
is
an
deducting fees from 4.3%.
They started with that and then took it out.
Okay. Well, you'll get 4.3% of gross annual revenues. That's what you'll get
Okay.
from Comcast, and that's what you'll get from Verizon.
Okay. So we can expect the same as Comcast, except the 15% because they're asking for the right to terminate.
That's correct. So you'll get the 8,600 plus 15%. So another, what's 15% of 86? It's going to be about 900, so or something. So you get about a little over 9,000 a year.
Okay.
So that's the meat and potatoes of the contract, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I read the draft and again was very comprehensive, and I thought the individual did a good job. And it's my first time, but I thought I'd learned a lot out of it. And what did cross my mind is to ask the committee that how are you going to let the customers have an idea as to what will happen in the next 3 to 5 years? Would there be a separate method to communicate that information to customers, or will allow it to Verizon or Comcast to do this work?
As far as the termination,
And also keeping customers informed as to what will happen in the next 5 years if Verizon let go these services. Is there any way
well, that would be on them, wouldn't it?
I'm sorry, what was the question? I was having trouble.
That to notify the customers, subscribers,
If they terminate?
that they would terminate. That would be on them.
Then
Is there,
We have no control over that.
Okay.
it's their business and it's their customer. If they want to treat them that way, that's their problem, quite frankly. Which I will tell you that they've been, Verizon has been doing this for maybe 3 or 4 years. They first came to Massachusetts about 07, 08, 09, around that era, and they had mostly 15-year licenses. So most of those came up in the early, 2019, 2020, 21. And as those licenses came up for renewal, Verizon started saying we'll only do 5 years and we want the right of unilateral termination. It's been going on for 3 years, perhaps 4 years, and Verizon has not terminated.
They have.
That's people are suspicious that maybe they really want to do it. They haven't done it yet. And I would say that as long as they're making money in a community, and they do make money, even paying a 5%, they still make money. They pass that through. As long as they're making money in a community and remaining reasonably competitive, you can expect that they'll stay. That's my best assessment.
And we can't stop them if they want to
And we can't stop them.
continue anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different with Comcast. Comcast won't be doing that. And they want to stay, and if they lose their cable license or surrender their license, they have to shut down. They can't market broadband. Verizon can, because they were originally here as a telephone company.
Okay.
I didn't bring my copy, but I wondered if you could just let me look at that for a second. I just wanted to be sure about one thing. There are, I don't see any liquidated damages in there. And there are liquidated damages in the Comcast license. Liquidated damages are essentially penalties assessed on a day-by-day basis if, after a hearing and a finding by the board, they're in violation of the license. If Comcast has them in Comcast's license, they do, Verizon ought to put them into this license too.
Okay.
So if you want to mention that to Neil, or if you want me to,
I believe that would be in your purview,
I'll do that.
your lane.
I know that from prior experience, if the other license doesn't have it, Verizon will not put them in.
Mm-hmm.
But if the other license has got them, Verizon should and will.
Okay.
So that's the only additional comment I would have about it.
Okay.
So is there something that conversely would be on us in exchange for having this liquidated?
No, it's purely an enforcement provision. So here's the Comcast license, and I'll read you what it says. Section 9.9 is usually where we find it. For a violation of the following provisions of the renewal license, damages will be paid by the licensee to the town subject to section 9.8. And that requires a public hearing first. So if, for example, somebody says Verizon is in violation of the license because X, Y, or Z, it's a public hearing and both sides get to present their case and the select board makes a decision. If they find that there's a violation, they send a letter to the cable company and then they say you got to fix this within 30 days or 60 days or however long it is. And until it's fixed, you can be fined. And here's some of the things that the Comcast license provides. For failure to require the advanced written approval for a transfer of the license, $150 a day. Failure to comply with FCC customer service obligations, $100 a day. Failure to comply and maintain a cable system in accordance with section 4.1, which is the building out of the system with, 30 homes per mile or 60 homes per mile, 150 feet. If they don't build out to new parts of town that meet that obligation, they would be fined $50 a day. Failure to comply with PEG commitments in Article 6, that is the payment of access support payments, $50 a day. Failure to maintain the bonds and insurance, $100 a day. So that's what liquidated damages are, and as I say, they're in the Comcast license, so Verizon, we can ask Verizon to put them in their license, and they should do it. They will, they're taking the position, we'll mirror whatever you've got with Comcast. So if Comcast has those in, Verizon should put them in too.
Do those things usually happen?
No,
Doesn't seem
But-
like they would.
the reason they don't happen is because they've got these provisions in here that say if you,
They care about $50 a day?
yes.
Wow.
Yes, they do. I will tell you that, I mean, for one thing, the kinds of, most of the types of violations that this attempts to protect against are violations that if they occur, it's going to take them a while to fix. So for example, if they're in violation of the FCC customer service regulation, which says you've got to answer 90% of your telephone calls from customers within 30 seconds under ordinary circumstances. Now, cable companies keep a computer statistical record, so we can ask them, what are your percentages for answering calls? And they'll be able to say it's 90%, it's 80, it's 70, it's 100, it's 98. Those numbers are known to them because they're obligated to keep the record.
For Abington,
Pardon?
90% of the calls from Abington.
Yes, for whatever market it is. Every cable operator is obligated to comply with the FCC regulations, and that's what the regulation is for every town, every community. So if the board found that, in one case, now this was about 20 years ago, but there was a case where Comcast was not able to meet that. Their statistics said they were answering the phone 70% of the time, not 90% of the time within 30 seconds. So this particular community started to fine Comcast, and it took them about 5 or 6 months to fix it. And you get up to about $30,000 or $25,000, $30,000. Now, that's not a lot of money for a cable company, but they don't like the bad publicity that goes with these public hearings and the newspaper headlines saying Comcast fined for not meeting FCC standards. So there's a powerful incentive for cable companies to avoid being found in violation of a license. It's bad publicity, and they don't like that. So,
Does that fine go to the general fund?
well, it can go wherever you want it to go. And in this particular case, what the board wanted was they wanted $30,000 applied to lower everybody's rates for a year. So that's what they did.
Wow.
Put $30,000 and it was Comcast, and Comcast reduced the rates for all subscribers proportionally, however much it was, for 12 months.
Wow.
Now, they could have taken the money and put it in the general fund. They could have put it in a cable reserve fund. There's no rule about where liquidated damages penalties have to be spent. Presumably, they ought to be spent for cable purposes, but to my knowledge, there's no reason that they have to. So,
Well,
yep.
Anything else?
That's really all I would say.
Okay. So when you talk to them about the liquidated damages, do you think it would be better for you to talk to them about the other issues, or should I do that with Niall?
I might as well do it all at once.
Okay.
And the other issues are,
Getting the fourth channel,
oh,
all that kind of stuff. Yes.
right.
The contract.
Just take a look at this again.
so Comcast promised us only 3 channels and one of them to be HD within 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
So is Verizon going to go with that as well, or give us the 4th channel in 270 days?
They'll give us the 4th channel in 270 days. Yeah, they're a lot faster.
So they're not strictly whatever Comcast said?
No, not in every sense, no. They follow Comcast with the money, and they follow Comcast with number of channels. All right, so if you've got 3 channels, they'll give you 3.
Oh.
That sort of thing. But there are other ways in which they differ. And one of them is that they'll give you an extra channel. Typically, they'll give you 4 channels. Comcast will take away an SD channel and give you an HD channel.
Mm-hmm.
And Comcast generally takes 2 to 3 years, and Verizon takes 270 days, 9 months. So,
2 to 3 years.
with
Do they-
Comcast, yeah.
Do they actually have to do something other than change it on their end?
Well, it requires, it may require some technical upgrades to the system you have. So for example, if you don't have SDI, if they haven't upgraded the system to SDI, they have to do that before they can provide an HD channel. So in some cases, it does take them a while. I don't know why Verizon can do it in 9 months and Comcast sometimes takes 2 years. Comcast will tell you that it's not necessarily going to take 2 years, but they may need up to 2 years to do it. So you may get it sooner. Used to be 3 years. Now it's 2. So yeah, Pete, I will mention all of these to Neil when I talk to him.
Okay, before we go any further, I think we should get a motion that we do all this, am I correct? Or are we in agreement that we should go forward with the 15% premium, 4.3% pay, everything we've been talking about?
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
That we ask for 4.3% annual revenues with the 15% premium 5-year contract, because that's all they'll give us. The 4th HD channel and 8,600 a year for 5 years, right? It's
Yeah.
the 43,000, not 86, because it's a 5-year contract.
But the 15% gets put on the capital, am I correct?
That's correct.
Yes.
So it would be $9,890 a year times 5 equals 49,450. So instead of whatever, 43,000.
That's it, right? The
And we also
capital, the 15%, 4th HD channel, 5 years, and 8,600 a year.
in
They pay in thirds, but
and the I can't even remember my handwriting, the portion that you wanted added, the
Liquidated damage.
liquidated,
Oh,
yeah.
damages. Add that as well if it's not already included, as per the Comcast contract.
Zero liquidated damage.
So you can second that or not?
I second the motion.
Okay, I think we've discussed it enough. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, please do.
All set.
Okay,
I will give them a
Thank
call and let you know.
okay,
The license is up in February 2023,
yes,
so we had a public hearing in August.
yes, we
That's
did.
the only other legal requirement, it's the only legal requirement we have before signing a license. So I think, we've done our work.
Yes. That was my whole intent, was to get this done as quickly as possible. Because, again, worried about COVID and everything else that's bopping around, so
And that cold you've got.
it's finally going away.
All right,
My annual fall cold.
I'll let you know. What'll probably happen is we'll get a final license that's dated February 23rd. I think that's the date.
Yes.
And the board, they can sign it anytime they want, but it's effective February 23rd. So that's a really good.
Appreciate your help.
Yeah, that's a good outcome, because so many times we're right up against the wire or we're late with some of these. So having one out of the way early is a really nice feeling.
Yes. Okay. The next item on our agenda is review and approval of the minutes of September 7th.
I make a motion to approve minutes of September 7th.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there any other business before before this committee that needs to be discussed tonight? Okay. Go ahead.
Here regarding, I just want to know if the town meeting have like a management, or let's say a contract management software. Have you ever thought about it, or it's not something that they will consider? Because with the contract management software, this will be mostly electronic, and then you keep track of what change over the years. I heard that some other organizations they have it, but I was just curious to know if the town of Abington hosts, if some other committees have something of that nature. And if not, can we think about asking for such a thing? Well, just a thought, just a proposal, because the issue now is that going ahead with tracking information on hard copies can be a problem down the line. But having that software, the contract management software, will do great things for the town of Abington.
Oh, I see. As far as
Contract
in terms of looking at the liquidated damages,
if that's an element that needs to be accommodated, yes. But again, it will never. The software will actually help the committee. Well, to see updates, to track, to see what amendments have been made over the years with a given contract. It so happened that let's say a contract had like a lifespan of 3 years. After every 3 years, we renew it. And if there is a management software contract management software available, it will simulate for it to do that tracking and even to automate that particular process. So what I'm just throwing at the committee is a thought that, in fact, I was curious whether any committee within the town has a thing of that nature.
no.
Okay, that says no, then I just keep my side.
No, I'm
Okay.
fairly confident
No case, I
we don't. We don't even have autofill forms on our website yet, so.
I think my story.
Okay.
And the prior to this, we've only had one set of contracts that started in 2008 or 2009. One of them was 10 years, the Comcast was 10 years, and the Verizon was 15. So this is really only the first
No.
any kind of amendment opportunity.
Right.
And actually the first contract is available on is that the state website?
Yes, there is a state website.
Verizon is, but Comcast isn't.
Yeah, the
For
newest
some
one
reason
isn't
it wasn't.
The Comcast isn't on there?
I
yet. It
don't know.
wasn't last time I looked.
The original contract was not. I don't know if the new one is or not.
I see it.
Okay. Okay. Any other business?
No.
Okay. The next time we meet will be basically when Bill reports back that everything's been squared away. So we'll leave that date open at this point in time.
Let's make a motion to adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
This meeting is adjourned at 7:32 on the 16th of November, 2022.